So as part of the sequence, when you're teaching yourselves how to effectively press a kettlebell, one of the most important things, once you learn how to stabilize that weight up above, then there's a relationship you want to get between the weight being in your hand, the strength in your shoulders, and connecting that to your hips for both strength and for flexibility. A lot of times we have the strength and the power to do something, but we lack the flexibility in order to do it to its maximum capability. So the movement we're going to teach you now is going to help you correct any imbalances you may have between strength and flexibility. This exercise is called an overhead lunge. So it's a combination of the overhead press that we've done and the lunge movement that we did earlier in the squatting sequence. So to start, we're going to grab the kettlebell, thumb corner in the corner, back it up with our second hand, rock it back between our legs, and bring it to our shoulders. Good. So our next step is we're going to use our hips, press that weight up over our head. Good. Now we're locked out. Wrists are straight. Arms are locked out. Shoulders are in tight. We're going to find our lat muscles. Keep that arm straight and pull those shoulders down with that lat muscle. Candace is going to step out into what we call a stationary lunge. So her legs are going to step out. She's going to hold that stance, so she's not going to move. David is going to do an alternating lunge. So both of them are going to go down, come back up. Down, come back up. What we're really getting here is a great movement where they have to connect from the hips, stretch the hip flexor, get strength in the core. David has got to work an even greater amount of flexibility and agility because he's got to ground through a moving posture. He's still got to work hard to keep that arm locked out. That's probably the most challenging part in an overhead stepping lunge. Beautiful. And put it down. So the use of this movement fits very well in the sequence of exercises that you're going to use to teach yourself how to press safely, effectively, and to learn how to increase your weight in a way that your body can handle. The next exercise in our sequence is called the clean. Now we've actually done this exercise many times before. It's the movement we use when we bring the kettlebells from the floor to our chest. Now typically before this, we've always done it with two hands, just because it's easier and safer that way. And unless you're doing the clean for repetitions, or you're doing the clean and the press together, there's really no need to put the second hand on to do it with just one hand. As you get better and more experience with your kettlebells, you'll do the clean with one hand every single time. But as a beginner, just getting out, just starting, you want to try and make the movement as less intimidating as possible, and I want to try and make it as easy for you to get a weight that's challenging for your hips up into your arms. Okay, so after you follow the entire sequence, now you're at this point. Now we're going to teach you how to safely and smoothly do the clean so you don't feel any of the pressure of the repetitive movement. Okay, so as in our other exercises, the first step to doing a clean properly is to use your hands, thumb corner in the corner, and grip the kettlebell just like you would for your press. So our first rep, what we're going to do is we're going to do it the same way we've been doing it before. So you're actually going to use two hands. You're going to swing it back between your legs and rock it up to your shoulders. Good. This is going to be the starting point for you guys to learn how to do the clean. Now, the best way to learn how to do the clean is to actually practice it backwards. To get it safely and smoothly up onto the arm, what you've got to do is find the path of movement that will allow the movement to happen efficiently. So watch. What we're going to practice for the first few times is we're just going to let the kettlebell roll off of our shoulders, and we're going to place it down on the ground with our thumb facing behind us. You guys ready? So look, they're going to put it down. It's going to roll off the shoulders. Thumb's going to face behind them. They rolled it off with one hand. They're going to put their second hand back on it, and they're going to rock it right back to their chest. Good. Again, I want you to pay attention to the path. Feel it. Watch it roll. Elbow stays in tight. Roll it off the shoulders. Good. Use your second hand, bring it back to your chest. After you do that a few times, what you're really trying to pay attention to is the path as it rolls off. Now, after you do that a few times, you roll it off. I want you to roll it off, swing it back between the legs, and roll it right back onto the shoulder. Good. Go for it. It rolls off, rolls back on. Good. It rolls off, it rolls back on. Now, to do this properly, what we've got to do every time it rolls back on is pull the weight straight up, keep your elbow in close to your body, and as it's coming, you're starting to twist and turn the bell as early as possible. So the minute it hits back here, as you start to pull it back up, you're starting to roll it back on. Watch again. You guys ready? Roll it off, roll it back on. Good. Roll it off, roll it back on. Now, as they roll it back on, right before it comes to your chest, you're actually going to move your hand just a little bit faster than the weight, and it's a punch. And that punch, you're coming to the weight instead of letting the weight come to you. Watch again. Roll off, roll back on. Roll off, roll back on. Roll off, roll back on. One more thing I need you guys to see. At the very top of the movement, watch what their hips do. At the bottom, hips swing it back up. At the top, their hips catch the weight. Watch again. Roll off, roll back on. Roll off, roll back on. Roll off, catch it with the hips. Beautiful. Put it down. The clean is a movement that is very necessary in kettlebells. It's the transition point from having the kettlebell below your hips to getting the kettlebell above your hips. You can't press, you can't do any of the overhead movements without it. As a beginner in kettlebells, we teach, and even as you watch our training programs, you'll see this is how we do it. We encourage you to do the front squat, the overhead press, a lot of the movements that require you to hold it in one hand with the weight on the back of your shoulder without doing multiple cleans. We want you to do that for a few weeks so you can condition the forearms for this movement. But once you're conditioned, this movement will be a staple in your kettlebell movement. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to show you how to combine the clean with the press. It's really quite simple. Once you have the clean down, that movement when we came to the top and we caught it with our hips, that same catch is going to be the same movement we use to explode up to the top. You guys ready? All right, let's do it. The next step is we're going to practice our clean with one hand. So with one hand, they're going to grip thumb corner in the corner. Posture's nice and straight. They're still going to use their hips. Hips are going to rock it back, rock it to their shoulder. Good. So they're going to start from a nice, firm, clean position. The next thing we're going to do, so we're going to re-clean the bell. So they're going to swing it back between their hips. It's going to come back up. That movement where they catch the weight, they're going to explode right to the top with that movement. You guys ready? Okay, good. Roll it off to the hips, explode up. Good. They can pause there. They can do their negative movement down if they want. They can reset, and then they can do it again. Roll it off. Hips to chest, hips over the head. Good. There's actually two movements of the hips here, and they're coupled together. Pull it back down to the chest. Good. Hips back down. Roll it off. Hips back up. Pop it up. Good. Now, as you get better, you don't have to pull it down slowly. You can let it come back down at a better speed. That's it. Notice how they use their hips to catch it at the bottom, too. Every time, it's always hips. Always hips. Again, roll it off. Hips to the chest. Hips up. Good. Hips catch the weight. Hips throw it back down. Back up. Hips up. Good. Hips catch the weight. Good. Again, roll it off. Hips up. Beautiful. Hips catch the weight. Put it down. So when you are practicing the kettlebell, keep it in mind, you're doing just that. You are practicing a skill. As you get better at the skill, you'll be able to sequence the movements together more efficiently for more work to get your results faster. But ultimately, what you're doing with kettlebells is you are practicing an athletic movement and you are trying to get the characteristics and benefits from this athletic movement to come out in your body.